So, what is the best business brokerage franchise to own? You're probably asking that question, and you'll find that Transworld Business Advisors has probably already come up in your searches. It is one of the names serious candidates find quickly when they start comparing business broker franchise options. So what makes Transworld Business Advisors different than the other business brokerage or professional service franchise opportunities out there? This video is for you or anyone seriously evaluating franchise ownership in the business brokerage and professional services franchise space. We'll dive into some of the things that sets Transworld apart, like our more than 40 years in business brokerage experience, the size of our massive network with 1,000+ brokers worldwide, Entrepreneur Franchise 500 category leadership, our revenue streams, training and support, and many other things that you receive as a franchise owner. When someone asks what is the best business brokerage franchise to own, to find the answer you need to evaluate the things that matter. Brand credibility, category history, training, revenue diversity, overhead, and validated financial performance. Does the brand have enough credibility to open doors with business owners? Does the model have enough history to show it can hold up through different economic conditions? Can someone with business experience but not necessarily brokerage experience be trained to run the business? Are there multiple ways to generate revenue? Is the overhead reasonable for the kind of professional practice that you're going to be building? And does the franchise disclosure document, or the FDD, does it give you enough validated financial information to make a sound business decision? That is the framework I would use to evaluate any business brokerage franchise. So now let's see how Transworld Business Advisors really stacks up. In business brokerage, brand credibility matters because the client is not making a casual decision. They are often preparing to sell their business, the one that they've spent years, sometimes decades, building. For many owners, selling their business is the largest financial transaction of their lifetime. So they need to trust the person who's guiding that process. And that is why credibility matters before the first meeting even happens. Transworld Business Advisors, well, we've been in the business brokerage industry for more than 40 years. Our network includes more than 1,000 brokers worldwide and more than 250 offices in 21+ countries. Now that scale alone gives a franchise owner like you something important, a name that a business owner can look up, verify, and take very seriously. That does not replace the work of building your local reputation, but it does mean that you are entering the market with a name that business owners can immediately recognize, easily research, and take seriously from day one. But you're not starting from zero, and that is a meaningful advantage in a relationship-driven business. You should also consider category leadership. See, a lot of franchise brands can claim that they're strong, but few can show a consistent track record. Transworld has been ranked number 1 in the business brokerage franchise category on the Entrepreneur Franchise 500 every single year since we began franchising. That is not a one-time recognition. It is a repeated category ranking over time. So for someone comparing the best business brokerage franchise options, consistency really matters. It suggests that our model isn't dependent on one successful year, one strong franchise owner, or one isolated success story. We have held our position across different economic environments, 250 offices across 21+ countries. Does that mean you can skip due diligence? No. It means Transworld should earn a serious place on your list of business brokerage franchises that you're considering. The next thing I would look at is how long the brand has been operating in the business brokerage space. See, there's a difference between a company that recently entered a promising category and a company that helped define it. Transworld has been in business brokerage for more than 40 years. And that matters because business brokerage isn't simple. It involves valuation, confidentiality, buyer qualifications, seller expectations, financing, due diligence, negotiations, and finally closing. And a brand like ours with that much history has had to work through different types of markets, different buyer behaviors, different seller needs, and different economic cycles. So as a prospective franchise owner, that experience becomes part of the value that you receive from the system. So you're not just buying a name, you're buying a model that has been built, tested, adjusted, and expanded successfully over time. Training becomes a part of the evaluation because many candidates come to business brokerage with strong business experience, but maybe not direct business brokerage experience. They may come from corporate leadership, finance, sales, consulting, real estate, operations, banking, or even entrepreneurship. And those backgrounds matter because this is a professional advisory business. You need business judgment. You need credibility. You need to be able to be comfortable speaking with owners about serious financial decisions. But you also need to learn the mechanics of business brokerage. How do you value a business? How do you prepare and package a business for sale? How do you market a listing confidentially? How do you qualify the buyer inquiries? How do you manage the process from the very first conversation all the way through to closing? That is where the franchise system needs to do the real work. And so the value of Transworld is that our system gives you as a franchise owner a training platform, an operating system, brand structure, technology, and access to a network of very experienced brokers. The goal is not to make business brokerage sound easy. The goal is to give someone like you, with the right professional background, the system you need to learn the industry and build a successful practice. And that distinction matters. Once you understand the brand and the training, the next question is how the business actually creates revenue. And this is where Transworld Business Advisors start to look very different from a standard business brokerage franchise. So you're not only building a practice around helping people buy and sell businesses, you also have ways to serve clients before, during, and after that kind of transaction. That is valuable, but Transworld's model is even broader. There are 4 revenue streams in a single franchise investment. The first is business brokerage, helping business owners sell companies and helping buyers acquire businesses. The second is a franchise matching system where you help people evaluate franchise ownership and connect them with franchise brands that fit their goals, their background, and their investment level. The third is franchise development. This is where we're helping successful business owners explore whether franchising could be their ideal path to growth and expansion. And then the fourth is mergers and acquisitions. This is supporting larger and/or more complex transactions through our Transworld network. That matters because the same relationship can lead to different opportunities. A seller may want to buy a franchise after exiting their previous business. A buyer may come in looking for an acquisition and realize that a franchise is a better fit. A local business owner may not be ready to sell yet, but may be ready to explore franchising their concept and then selling later. So when you're evaluating the Transworld Business Advisors franchise, you're not just looking at business brokerage. You're looking at a broader business advisory model with multiple ways that you can grow your practice. The operating model matters too, because this is where Transworld looks very different from many franchise opportunities people compare it with. This is not a retail storefront. It is not inventory based. You're not building out a restaurant, buying equipment, or depending on walk-in traffic. Transworld Business Advisors is built as a professional office model. That can mean a small office, a private office in a co-working space, or another professional setting where you can meet business owners, business buyers, and referral partners. The point is that the business is designed around advisory work, not really retail operations. And that low overhead structure is very important because you're building a professional services practice. And therefore, your value is in your relationships, your advisory ability, the local market presence, and the ability to keep moving transactions forward. So for many candidates, that's part of the appeal. They're not looking to manage a retail staff or carry inventory or depend on walk-in traffic. They're looking to build a serious business-to-business advisory company. Now, the final piece is financial validation. See, anytime you're evaluating a franchise, especially one with meaningful income potential, you should go to the franchise disclosure document. For Transworld Business Advisors, request the FDD and review the Item 19 for validated earnings data. That is where you can look at the disclosed financial performance information. You can understand the range of outcomes and ask better and more intelligent questions. Do not evaluate a franchise based only on a headline number. Look at the investment. Look at the revenue model, look at the training, look at the support, look at the territory, look at the franchisee validation process, look at the return it gives the franchisees, and look at what it takes to build this business. See, a good franchise decision is not emotional, it is informed. So, what's the best business brokerage franchise to own? Well, the honest answer is that the best franchise depends on your background, your goals, your market, and the kind of business you want to build. But if you're evaluating the category based on brand credibility, category leadership, history, training, revenue diversity, and a lower overhead professional model, Transworld Business Advisors is one of the strongest business brokerage franchise opportunities for you to validate. More than 40 years in business brokerage, more than 1,000 brokers worldwide, #1 in category on the Entrepreneur Franchise 500, 4 revenue streams and 1 franchise investment. If Transworld is already on your list, the next step is to look closely. Request more information at tworldfranchise.com and start your conversation.